With the final update for Battlefield 5 just around the corner, I think it's about time that we start to talk about the next game in the franchise. The next Battlefield game, rumoured to be titled Battlefield 6, is arguably one of the most important Battlefield games DICE are going to have to develop and release for 2021. We all know by now just how Battlefield 5 failed to meet a lot of player expectations, and quite frankly the game failed to deliver the World War II experience that many were hoping for. Failing to meet sales expectations set by DICE and EA, it has undoubtedly put a lot of pressure on the team at DICE to develop something that will revitalise the Battlefield series once again and bring it back to the forefront of gaming. In my opinion, I believe that failure to do so could quite possibly result in the death of the franchise, which I'm sure many people, including myself, don't want this to happen. With the FPS genre being so competitive and saturated with a lot of amazing titles constantly being updated and released, many people will simply move on to another game if it doesn't live up to their expectations, and this was truly evident with Battlefield 5. I think it's safe to say that Battlefield, when done right, creates such a unique FPS experience that no other game is able to pull off. I always like to think of the term only in Battlefield because to me, that one quote summarises exactly what the franchise is and should be all about. Being able to do whatever you want and play however you want to is what made the Battlefield experience so good to begin with. This sandbox experience is something that has almost fallen to the wayside with the previous release of Battlefield, and ultimately it's what made some of the previous titles so incredibly fun. Being able to pull off things like the legendary jet swap from Battlefield 3, fire a rocket launcher at another jet or a helicopter whilst falling from the sky, to strapping C4 to a quad bike and propelling it toward armoured vehicles, created some of the best and most memorable moments gaming has to offer. With the end of support for Battlefield 5 as well as Star Wars Battlefront 2 coming very soon, DICE is using this opportunity to free all departments in the studio so they can all focus and contribute to developing the next game. Hearing of this news has many people excited for what's around the corner. I'm sure, as most of you know already if you've been following Battlefield 5 from the very beginning, that the development was ultimately rushed and didn't have enough developers behind it to make it the best experience possible in the given development timeframe. So hearing news that the entire studio will now be focusing all of its resources on the next Battlefield title may just be a signal of how in-depth and detailed it could possibly be. And with that, many people are looking to what the next Battlefield game could possibly entail. So in today's video, I want to discuss the future of the franchise and some of my ideas on just how DICE can bring Battlefield back in line with what the game series is best known for, and to regain the trust of the community once again. It was recently announced in the official PlayStation magazine that we would be receiving more information on the game in the next issue. A very interesting move for DICE and EA, as they usually don't tend to announce their games in this manner. What we do know, however, is that the next Battlefield title will be taking advantage of all the new advancements in modern technology. Things like Nvidia RTX with its ray tracing capabilities and AI systems could all be used to take the game to a whole other level. I think it's safe to say that DICE has never been more free when it comes to developing Battlefield, and the reason I say that is because of these advancements in technology. It's no secret that the developers in some regards have been tied down to what they can pull off with the current generation of consoles. The PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, released in 2013, are getting very old at this point, and they are definitely starting to show their age. The fact that Battlefield 6 is being developed for next generation consoles and taking advantage of all of the new bleeding edge technology will give the studio much more freedom when it comes to developing this game, which could all serve to make Battlefield 6 the greatest Battlefield to date. With that, many people are speculating what the next Battlefield title could possibly be like and what kind of setting we're going to see. And I think it's safe to say at this point that most of the Battlefield community are wanting to see a return to the modern era. Something along the lines of Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. It's these two games that mark a time where Battlefield was at its prime. This modern setting, with the amount of gadgets, vehicles, weapons and attachments, allows the Battlefield formula to all come together and create that sandbox experience that we all like so much. Which is why I believe the next Battlefield title will be very similar to Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4. One of the main reasons I think this is because we've seen a lot of games go back to what made them so successful in the first place. Infinity Ward returning to the Modern Warfare series and making sort of a soft reboot really made Call of Duty great again, and it blew up completely. A lot of fans who liked COD for what COD was back, in 2013 and 2012 came back to play Modern Warfare because it really resembled a time in which Call of Duty was just great. And judging by the success of Modern Warfare, it definitely worked. And because Battlefield 5 underperformed in terms of sales and community engagement, they're really going to have to create something that draws players back into the Battlefield series, as well as something they can constantly iterate on to provide a great experience throughout the whole life cycle of the game. So that, combined with the fact that Battlefield 3 was the most successful selling Battlefield game of all time, really leads me to believe that we are going to see either a remaster or a return to the modern setting. And I think that this allows DICE to build kind of a fictional narrative with almost endless directions on what they can build this modern shooter from, and also opening a lot of doors when it comes to the type of content that we can receive, creating a somewhat familiar experience. And I think due to the whole situation with Battlefield 5, DICE will be playing very safe when it comes to this game. But those are just my thoughts on what we could possibly see in the next Battlefield game. I'd love to know what a lot of you guys think and what you want to see in Battlefield 6. So please leave me a comment down below. I'd love to spark some discussion about this game. Before we get to the end of this video, however, I just want to take a moment to thank all of you who showed support on my last video. There have been so many new subscribers and kind people in the comment section that I'm quite honestly blown away. I do have a lot more in-depth content like that coming soon, however you will have to bear with me because they take quite a lot of work and time to put together, but seeing the amount of support you guys give really keeps me inspired and motivated to go further and make better videos for you all. So again, thank you, I really appreciate it. But if you enjoyed this video, consider leaving that like. Also, leave me a comment down below telling me what you think of Battlefield 6. Until the next one, this has been Firestorm 3, and thank you for watching.